O Great Spirit, Namaste. Saints and sages of all times, of all places, Namaste. O ye beings of the air, the earth, the fire, the water, the ether, Namaste. Ancestors of our bloodlines, ancestors of all of the lineages to whom we attune, Namaste. Om Shri Babaji Namaha. Om Shri Lahiri Mahasaya Namaha. Om Shri Yukteswarji Namaha. Om Shri Paramahansa Yogananda Ji Namaha. Om Shri Shaliji Namaha. Om Shri Goswami Kriyananda Ji Namaha. Most beloved and precious Ishtadevata, in all of thy names, in all of thy forms, and in thy formless reality, Yanamaha. May our time together be blessed. May the cobwebs be removed. May the doorway of this sacred time, which is upon us, bring us an abundance of new light, an abundance of new awareness, the courage and strength to transform our lives, and all that we need with great harmony. Om Shanti, 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 Om Shanti, 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 Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Namaste. Namaste. Welcome to my heart. Welcome to our Sunday Sangha. Once upon a yogi time, there was a disciple, and there was a guru. And the disciple lived fairly close to the guru and had the good karma, although the disciple didn't know that, to speak to the guru many times a week. And they had a very intimate relationship, although the disciple did not really know how intimate it was at that time. And the disciple had a tendency to complain, thinking that the guru was going to be there for an eternity and that she could just keep complaining and complaining and the guru would be there, forgetting the law of life, the law of change. So one day she goes in and she says, Guruji, this is going on and on and on. You know how much of a pain in my ear Betty has been. She has just been so mean to me. Every time she turns around, she's mean, she's cruel, she does something to undermine me at work. You told me to be nice to her, and I've been trying. And I thought if she just left, if I got a new job, everything would be just fine. Well, as you know, I got a new job. 3 months into this new job. And now it's Mike. Mike is being worse than Betty was, at least as bad. Worse. Guruji just smiles. Okay, A few weeks later, the disciple comes back. Oh, now you would not believe this. John is he's just as bad as the two of them put together. All he does is diss me. He's so disrespectful. Guruji, there must be something. Okay. I'll tell you what. This weekend, don't do it during the week, but this weekend, I'd like you to take a mirror. Let's just make it Saturday. How about if we just make it during the day, Saturday? Take a mirror. And every place you walk, I want you to hold that mirror in front of you. Just hold it out, Gurus are very strange. So she does. Walks around the house, she's got the mirror in front of her. Goes outside, she's got the mirror in front of her. Goes to the grocery store, if people think she's very weird, she's got the mirror in front of her. She has to move it to see some things. Goes home, goes the next day to see her guru. What'd you learn? I don't know what the purpose of that was. All that I saw was my own face. People were still around me. People were still being rude to me. People were still being cruel to me. People were still ignoring me. I don't know what you wanted me to do. All I saw was my own face. But I could hear them. I could feel them. But all I saw was my own face. Voila! You got it. If all you see is your own face, and the external circumstances aren't changing, disciple, what do you think you have to do? Zip it. Stop complaining to your guru. Turn inward. Reflect. Oh, no. I don't want to do that. I don't want to turn inward. I don't want to see what's going on inside of this consciousness. Let me do something else, please. No, turn inward. See what thoughts are rising in your mind. If they're being cruel to you, if they're being rude to you, what are you doing? What are you doing to do that to them? And so he sets the disciple down, and the disciple begins the task of turning inward. Turning inward and using the blue light of self-awareness, which you all know, placing the globe above your head, 18 inches or so, and observing. But in the observing, there's a magic that occurs, because it is in the observing that the change can occur, that the change in your thoughts can occur. Those thoughts are immortal. Those thoughts are eternal. Remember that. They're not new to you. They're not unique to you. You don't own them. But for some reason, you and I, we attach a preference to them. We say, oh, this thought is better than this thought. This thought is better than this thought. I was talking to someone a few weeks back, and he was saying, I don't know how I deal with this, but he says, I pray that this will happen, XYZ. I don't think that's the answer to your problem. Well, you pray that this will happen, and across the room, Susie and Johnny and Peter are praying that this will happen, and all you're doing is setting up a polarity. Rise above your preferences. Let go of your preferences. Lift, 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 lift. Ask for that which is wisest. A few minutes later, he said, I wanted to throw up when you said that to me. I said, well, I'm glad you didn't do it here. And then he said, but I see. I don't like it, but I see. Now, the guru said to the disciple, everything begins internally. It is a matter of you choosing to let go of a particular thought or a particular thought pattern. Because, remember, and I think this is one of the most really powerful mystical concepts. It's so simple. And the way that Kriyananda used to say it is that thoughts come in groupets. They have friends. No one ever comes solo to a thought party. You don't have one thought that says, oh, this is blue. It's followed by, but this is a different shade of blue. That's a different shade of blue. This is a different shade of blue. I wonder how they're made. They all come in groupets. And so we have to recognize that that is the reality. Now, the mystical practice is to say, well, what is the thread? What's the knot in the thread that if I untie that knot is going to dissolve it all away? I'm sure that you have seen or experienced before thread getting knotted up, or a gold or silver chain getting knotted up, where it just has to, you have to very carefully, very carefully, very carefully unwind it. Well, we're very fortunate that we have meditation practices and we have kriyas that we can do, visualization, affirmation, breath practices that you can do that will untie that knot that's in your consciousness, that will loosen that preference that you are using, that you are attaching to say, this is mine. That will loosen the preference, because it's all it is. You have a preference for something that you have decided. You, not me. You have decided. Now someone said to me a few days ago, and I thought this was really a powerful reminding. And she asked the question, what do you do when that thought or state of consciousness seems immovable, impenetrable, as if it will never, ever change, as if it is the reality? Well, you turn inward, you study, you meditate, you turn inward. Outside of Cordoba in Spain, there's a place called Medina El Zara, and right now it's being restored, dug up, if you will. But a few breaths ago, it was the center of a caliphate that ruled that entire area of Spain. And people would they'd walk from Cordoba, long walk. It just take you the whole day to get out to Medina El Zara. And you'd have to walk, or you'd take a donkey, or you'd take a cart pulled by a donkey, or maybe if you were really rich, you'd take a horse. But very few people had the ability to do that. And if you needed to appeal to the Khalifa, you had to walk all this distance or get from this place to the other place. Beautiful, beautiful marble buildings and very sophisticated Medina. It lasted 87 years. That's all. 87 years. And then the caliphate dissolved away, and another one came up. It became ruins, and now it's being restored again, to remind us that even those things that we think are so permanent are not. Look at the pyramids in Egypt. Look at the wisdom that was part of that culture. Look at the stones in various sacred places around the world. Look at the sacred spots, the monasteries that are empty. Everything changes. Everything changes. So the idea that there's a thought that has risen in your mind that is never going to change is a false thinking. It's an error in thinking is the way to put it. It is an error in thinking. It's not that you're wrong. It's just an error. You need to stand up and look at it from another direction. That's all. Now, today we're going to talk about a practice that is very helpful in doing this. And then we're going to do some meditation, and then we'll have our prayers. at the end, as we always do, which right now are needed very much in the world. Your meditative energy is needed very much. Your strength is needed very much. Now, this practice of turning inward really begins with recognition that you and you alone are the creator of your universe. All of the work is internal. It must begin internally. First the internal, and then the external will change. It may seem hard to change the internal, but it must change before the external changes. There has to be some change internally. And this week, we have entered a time that is a time for internal transformation. Perhaps you have found some period of, aha, I see, some momentary enlightenment that has come to you, some change in your thinking. And you may think, oh, that's, where did that come from? How did I see that? Don't discard it. Don't discard those changes that come, those new thoughts that come at this time. For the Uranus is a sudden lightning bolt. It's God consciousness. And the Pluto is the transformation of your consciousness. It is the allowing of all those thoughts that have been buried in your unconscious mind, in your subconscious mind, to come forth, all the wisdom to come forth for you to use. And so the outer world changes as the inner world becomes illuminated. And this special Kriya that we've been given by our lineage, through our lineage, is called SCAD. S period, C period, A period, D period. They're not just words. It's not just an acronym or a pneumatic device, but they're practices, living practices that transform your mind, that transform your reactive mind into wisdom. The S begins with strength. But you say, well, what is this SCAD and where does it go? When do I need it? Well, I need it on the path of maturity. I was given this practice well enough along in my life that I had thought that I was mature. And I said to my guru, when is one mature? When does this end? What's the mark in the ground that I know that I've reached maturity? And he said, I hope it's the last breath that you take in your body and that it carries on. Because maturity is not growing older. Maturity is becoming free. It is becoming free. Immaturity says, I will be peaceful when Johnny does this. I will be peaceful when Susie does that. I will be peaceful when I get this promotion. Everything will be fine if only this person would leave, if only that person would leave, if I had a new job. Maturity says, at this moment, I choose peace. At this moment, I choose joy. At this moment, I choose tranquility. At this moment, I choose wisdom. Maturity is learning to see life exactly as it is, without insisting that it becomes something different before we allow ourselves to be peaceful or happy. And that, my beloved, is not always easy. Because the mind has preferences, and you look at life and you say, well, I want. Yeah, I know that Stacy wants. I know that Eli wants. I know that Joe wants. Now, I want. What I want is what matters. Neti, neti, neti. The goal spiritually is to see life as it is and to say, yes, this is what I would like, but I'll tell you, my neighbor wants this. My brother wants this. I don't know what he's thinking, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. All I want to do is see it. So we began with strength, the 4 pillars. Strength is the first one. And the affirmation is, I shall now embrace strength. So you take the S, the C, the A, the D. I shall now embrace strength on the path of maturity. Strength is not hardness. Strength is not force. Strength is not the muscle mass. Strength is the quiet capacity to see clearly without collapsing. Real strength remains compassionate while standing firmly in the truth. While recognizing that, I'm, really emotional about the war in this part of the world. What about the other 60 active wars that are going on right now in the world? Civil wars, the insurgencies. Why are you so upset about this one alone? I'm not saying you shouldn't be upset. Why are you so upset about this one alone? Why did you make that a priority? Let it go. Let that priority go. It's just a thought. It's just a thought. It's just a thought that you have decided is more important than the billion other thoughts that are there. You could be attaching your preferences, if you will, to enlightenment, to happiness, to wisdom, to compassion, to understanding, to seeing life clearly. And instead, you're attaching it to something else. And so, the question that I'm going to give you to ask yourself as you begin to embrace strength in your life, embrace it on the path of maturity. And this is a tough one, all right? It's a tough one. Well, I know it is, having done it and doing it continually. Where have I mistaken emotional reaction for strength? Where have I thought if I screamed a little louder, if I stamped my foot a little bit more, if I said, no, 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 it must be like this is the right way. My intense emotional reaction. Where have I mistaken that for strength? And then the second, which I think is really a beautiful, sweet, 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 sweet reflection. And I urge you to take time for this. It's just so sweet and so helpful and so affirming. So sit down and look in that mirror. Hold that mirror up. Where am I stronger than I realize? Where am I stronger than I realize? You ask yourself. And you look at your life and you say, well, that occurred and that was tough. But I saw it and I did that which needed to be done. A long time ago, in the Earth lifespan, a few decades ago, a few brief breaths ago, I was with somebody, a member of our family, and we were going to visit a grandmother in the family. And the woman said, she was new to the family, she didn't know me very well at all. And she announced, I don't do nursing homes. I don't do nursing homes. As we're getting ready to walk into a place that the grandmother was living after having broken both hips and being confined to bed. And I looked at her and I said, I'm sorry, this is going to be tough, isn't it, if you don't do nursing homes? And then I shut my mouth. My husband kind of looked at me and like, don't start. And then a few breaths later, I don't know, maybe 30 years or so, her beloved mother became ill with a disease of Alzheimer's and could no longer live alone and could no longer be cared for by the family. And that woman had learned and had grown and had matured enough that she was going to see Mama 3-4 times a week, that she was being loving and caring and compassionate towards her mother, that she had transformed that state of consciousness of, I don't do this, to, I may not like it, but I will make it better for this person that I love. I will see what is needed, and I will do everything in my power to make this harmonious for the other. And I will put aside my I don't do. And she did. She did a beautiful job. And she was much stronger over those years than she realized. And so I'm going to say to you, look at your life. Where are you stronger than you remember? Where are you stronger than you think? Where are you stronger than you expected to be? Now the second thing, just a few more and then we're going to meditate. I shall now embrace concentration on the path of maturity. Most suffering that we have comes from a scattered mind. The mind runs to yesterday, it runs to tomorrow, it runs towards what somebody said, it runs towards what might happen, it runs toward what somebody else did. It runs toward what you think that they said, it runs towards what you think is never going to happen to you, what you wish that is never going to come to fulfillment. It runs all over. The mind is like an untamed monkey in one of those little wheels that goes round and round and round. Concentration gathers the wandering mind and returns it home. It's simple. Your devices break up your concentration. Flipping from here to here to here breaks up your concentration. Chattering breaks up your concentration. Close your eyes. Turn inward. Be still. Allow yourself the ability to concentrate. And this is simple. It really is simple, but it's hard. And it is something that even 30 years ago, my guru was saying we were losing as a society, as culture, we were losing it, the ability to concentrate, and that capacity has decreased significantly. And so I would say to you, start simply. Use the visualization. Create a golden circle and visualize it. If you will, you can see here on the door on the other side of the altar, there is a circle with an Om in it. Visualize the circle with the Om. Or take that image and put it on your wall, eye high, at your when you're meditating, and see it. Bring it into your consciousness again and again and again and again and again until that mandala with the golden circle with the Om in the center of it is so strong that you can reach out and touch it until there is nothing between you and the Om, and you become that circle. If it's too much to visualize it with the Om, it's okay. Just visualize the circle until you can concentrate and concentrate and concentrate. Single-pointed awareness is you loving yourself. You paying attention to yourself. You know, oh, my beloved. We walk through life running and ranting and seeking the approval of others and chattering and doing. And we lose our self-awareness. Concentration will allow you to gain it back. Strength, concentration. And then we move to awareness. I shall now embrace awareness on the path of maturity. Awareness removes the blinders created by emotion. You know, an emotion arises, and I always love this. You know, a thumb can block out the sun. Try it. You put your thumb over your eyes and you can't see the sun. How is that possible? It's what emotion does to us. And so every time you find yourself, why is this happening to me? Why did they do this to me? Why are they behaving like this to me? Awareness says, what is life teaching me? What is there to learn from this? And when you see someone in a difficult situation, instead of saying, oh, what did they do to deserve this? Look at them. They've got that bad karma coming. They deserve this bad karma. Netty. You say, what can I learn from this? And may everything that I learn be a blessing to them. May everything that I learn be a gift to them. May they get part of the merit from my learning. May they get all the merit from my learning. So that you take that awareness and you transform it into witnessing. So instead of prisoners of our thoughts, we become witnesses so that we can see life as it is. It's quite a transformation, but it takes japa, repetition, and practice. Again and again and again and again. Now, the last one in our fourfold is detachment. Detachment is often, very, very often misunderstood, and it's not indifference. In fact, in the Kriya tradition, it is very often said, become detached, never become indifferent. Do not become indifferent. Do not become cold. Do not become indifferent. That is not being detached. That is being icy, highly emotional. And, Kriyanandaji always made a very big distinction here in saying that if you find yourself feeling icy or cold about something, don't say, well, I am detached from it. I'm not being bothered by netty. That feeling state, I don't care. That is not detachment. What detachment is, it is loving completely without trying to possess, without trying to change. Detachment is freedom. It means I don't have to be attached to what you do, to the success of the outcome of your endeavors. It's not my karma. I have to be, concentrating on what my own self-unfolding should require of me. Detachment is allowing life to unfold according to divine wisdom, to the wisdom of life itself. Too often, we are attached and we want something to happen in kind of crazy, illogical ways, my beloved, really. I've seen it happen when people are at the end of their lives, and the family is saying, oh, we have to do this, so that they can be here just a little bit longer. And the person who's getting ready to transition is like, oh my gosh, give me a break. Let me go. Let me be out of here. I'm ready. I'm ready to go. And so we're going to today build this mandala. Strength, concentration, awareness, and detachment. We're going to link it to the Om. You see the Om over here. The strength is in the A, which is the alphabet letter that looks like a 3. The concentration is in the U, which looks like a little hook off of the middle of the 3, little circle. The capital M is the moon, half moon, crescent moon above the 3. And the small m is the bindu. See that? The bindu, the dot at the top. And so we're going to take the strength and we're going to draw the A. We're going to take the concentration, we're going to draw the U. We're going to take the awareness, so we're going to draw the M. And we're going to take the detachment and draw the bindu. And we're going to practice. And you're going to practice again and again and again until the Om becomes linked to the strength, the concentration, the awareness, and the detachment, until it absorbs within every cell of your being. And so I'm going to ask you to witness whatever occurs in your mind as we do this practice, to recognize that it is a very deep Kriya that we're doing. It is a very, in many ways, it's a very advanced technique because you are creating a mandala with the circle. And in the mandala, you are placing the Om and you are linking that to these concepts. More than the concepts, my beloved, it's a state of consciousness. Strength, concentration, awareness, and detachment. They are states of consciousness that we are attuning to, that we are becoming one with. Not just a philosophical idea. It's not, not a philosophical idea. It is a state of consciousness to become one with. You have to practice it again and again and again and again and again and again throughout the course of your day. When you wake up in the morning, in the middle of the day, in the afternoon, at night before you go to bed, when you're walking down the stairs, when you're walking out the path, when you're walking in the door, when you're folding the laundry, when you're taking the dishes and putting them away. You need to stop during the course of your day and say, where am I strong? Something happens in your life and you say, I didn't know that I had the strength to do that. I didn't know that I had the strength to be present for that so that I could be of help, so that I could be of service. Because, my beloved, so that I could learn. One of the greatest joys of my life is sharing these Sunday meditations with you. Because I learned then. I learned so much of what I've learned and what I've failed to learn so far. It's quite a blessing. It's a blessing to share this time with you, to share your meditative energy, to share our prayer energy. And so, this is perhaps this rare alignment of the planets, the Uranus, Pluto, the Neptune, is not asking us to become someone new at all. but asking that we remember who and what we really are, that you remember who you are, that you see the light that you are, that you see the cosmos within you, that you let go of the barriers of your attachment to your thoughts. Let go. Be free to see life as it is, again and again and again, so that as you take your last breath in this incarnation, you realize, I'm immortal. I'm just going to keep on walking here. I'm immortal. I better pay attention now, at this moment, to what I'm thinking, what I'm learning, what I'm attaching myself to. Because that is the great practice. Being here now. That's the great practice. Namaste. Let us turn inward. Namaste, Ji. Before you shut your eyes, look carefully at the symbol to the left of the altar. And you will see a golden circle. And in that circle, you will see the A, the U, the M, and the Bindu. You just hold that in your mind for a moment. And if need be, during the meditation, if you cannot hold this in your mind, you can open your eyes slightly and look at it again. So now getting comfortable, sitting comfortably, as you are able, sit with your spine erect. And placing your hands in the Om Mudra, the index finger and the thumbs together, cupped upward upon your lap, like this, all right? Om. Now you're going to use the Om in the hands, the Om visualized, and the Om spoken to strengthen the concentration and the attunement to these states of consciousness. Sit with the spine erect, the hands cupped upward upon the thighs, turning your head to the left, exhaling twice. Bring the head back to the center and beginning to watch the breath. And the next inhalation of the breath, pull the energy from the limbs to the trunk. Inhaling again, pull the energy from the trunk of the body to the spinal column. And now from the base of the spine up to the sun center. Move that energy as a golden ball of light out in front of you. Expand that ball of light. And sweep around your body counterclockwise. 3 times. Encasing your entire being in golden light. Now expand that golden light. And ascend to the high place. Om Namo 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 Namo. Om Namo 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 Namo. attaining the high place of meditation. Find yourself seated in a comfortable meditation spot. Focus your attention at the sun center. Call your Ishtadevata, the divine ones, your chosen form of the divine, to be with you at this moment. Gazing at your sun center. See your Ishtadevata lift a mirror in front of your eyes. The mirror is a golden circle. The mirror reflects your being. You see the circle at your sun center. With your inner eye gazing into the circle. You draw the Ah, the letter that looks like a 3. You see it in the circle at your sun center. And you silently repeat these words that you hear echoing. I shall now embrace strength on the path of maturity. See that circle with the Ah, radiating gold at your sun center. Add the U onto the Ah. I shall now embrace concentration on the path of maturity. Feel and see that golden circle with the Ah and the U, radiating light at your sun center. Strength and concentration. Add the capital M, the half moon image, the half moon letter. I shall now embrace awareness on the path of maturity. Focusing at the sun center, at the mandala you are building, the golden circle of light. I shall now embrace strength on the path of maturity. I shall now embrace concentration on the path of maturity. I shall now embrace awareness on the path of maturity. And then add the bindu, the small m, the sustaining sound. I shall now embrace detachment on the path of maturity. Draw that mandala with a golden pen of light at your sun center. I shall now embrace strength on the path of maturity, drawing the Ah. I shall now embrace concentration on the path of maturity, drawing the U. I shall now embrace awareness on the path of maturity, drawing the M. I shall now embrace detachment on the path of maturity. See the mandala at your sun center. Move it from the sun center so that it is directly above your spinal column, above the sesamotic channel. Inhaling the Om. See the mandala brighten with your prana. As you inhale, the prana vivifies the mandala. As you exhale, the mandala pours with golden light down your spinal column. Inhaling, vivifying the mandala. Exhaling, pouring light down your spine. Inhaling, Om. Exhaling, Om. Inhaling, strength, Ah, concentration, U, awareness, M, detachment, strength, Ah, concentration, U, awareness, detachment, Bring that mandala, the top of the spine. See it, feel it, strengthen it, vivify it with your breath, with your prana. Breathe your prana into the mandala. Again, see the mandala. Ah, strength. U, concentration. M, awareness. Bindu. Detachment. Om. Feel that mandala dissolving down your spinal column. Om. 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 I shall now embrace strength on the path of maturity. Om. I shall now embrace detachment on the path of maturity. Om. I shall now embrace awareness on the path of maturity. Om. I shall now embrace detachment on the path of maturity. Om. 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 Breathe in the Om. Feel every cell of your being filled with this affirmation. Make this affirmation a vow to yourself. To be conscious as you walk the path of maturity. To attune to strength. To attune to concentration. To attune to awareness. To attune to detachment. Om Tat Sat Om. Om. Thou art. Om. Thou art that. Feeling your entire being filled with the bliss. Focus continually at the sun center. O ye powers that be, we call upon thee at this moment to join with us. As we chant the Om Shanti mantra, as we visualize the golden rings of light pouring down upon Mother Gaia and all of the beings who are alive within her aura, we call upon thee. Assist us, that we put aside our biases, that we put aside our preferences, that we put aside our attachment to our preferences for just this moment. We ask only this. May the karma of all beings living around the earth, upon the earth, within the earth, be softened. Surely there is a wiser, softer way that the karma may unfold. We ask thee this, that that which is the highest good for all beings manifest upon this planet. As we chant the Om Shanti mantra, see the golden light pouring down from your sun center, pouring down with you and your Ishtadevata, you and the powers that be, pouring down upon Mother Earth, upon Mother Gaia, around her, within her, upon her, and around, within, and upon all beings without exception, who are living in her aura. Om Shanti. 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 Harahit. Oh, you powers that be, as we walk the path of maturity, may our lives be an ever greater blessing to life. May we attune to strength. May we attune to the consciousness of concentration. May we attune to awareness. May we attune to detachment. May we become one with Om. Om Shanti. 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 Namaste ji. Namaskar. Continue your practice of this affirmation, this visualization, particularly building it at the Sun Center. Continue it during this week. Spend some time and energy in practice as you are able. And then offer your blessings. Offer your blessings to life. Your blessings make a difference. I know it's repetitive. I know I say this to you every week. You're really tired of hearing it. But if you keep coming back, you're going to hear it week after week. Your blessings, your concentrated energy, your yoga city, which you have, makes a difference to life. Forget about everybody else. Just do the best that you can. Namaste ji. Namaskar.